Welcome, guys, to the first remote masterclass, if you can call it that. This is from my backyard where we're testing a new recording setup to see if I can get some cool shots at night out in the field. And we'll test it here and see if we can get a quick shot of Orion. I'll walk through all the steps that I go through for my shooting process. So the first thing you'll see here is that we have a mount here, the Skywatcher Star Adventure mount. This mount has been one of my primary mounts for the last 4 years. Taken many different shots with it. And so first thing we have to do is get the tripod set up and the mount set up, which I've already done here to not make you sit through that. And then the next step would be to polar align the scope with Polaris. So from my position here, Polaris is up that direction, and I will be using a laser pointer to do an approximate polar alignment. If you want to look through the polar scope over here, you can do that, and you can precisely align Polaris with the polar clock. That's a possibility. But tonight, for the purposes of me taking shorter exposures from my backyard, we will not be needing that level of precision. So let me start that process. So basically I have this little laser pointer that I bought from Move Shoot Move. I'm not sponsored by any of these people. This is just products that I've found useful and that work well. So the first thing I do is I attach the laser pointer to my mount, and then I look up at the sky and I make sure there are no planes in the vicinity, because it's a federal offense to point a laser at a plane. So I'm not seeing any planes up there. So we can point the laser, and it's a little bit off here, so we will try to align both the declination. I'm just making declination adjustments, and the let's see here, and again, for these type of shots where I'm taking like quick 1 minute exposures, it only has to be relatively accurate. It doesn't have to be super precise, but it does have to be close enough, or else you'll start to see motion. All right, and let's do that, and all right, that should be good enough for purposes of these shots. And then once we've got this polar aligned, we will reattach the camera. So I have a ball head that I bought independently to attach my cameras to the Skywatcher Star Adventure here. I'm not going to talk about ball heads here, but it's important that they're stable. They're not moving around while your shots are getting captured, and also need to make sure that wind doesn't affect them, these sort of things. Maybe we'll do a video on this topic at some point. So we have the ball head attached here. We need to make sure it's sturdy, steady in place, and then we can attach our camera. And let's see here. Tonight I'll be shooting with the my Astro modified camera here, and then also with my 14mm lens on that camera. So we can have this set up here. Oh my goodness. I can drop my lens caps on the ground, put them over here so they don't make noise again. And we have a intervalometer here in order to control the shutter for the camera, so that we can shoot exposures longer than 30 seconds. And we'll see if I can do this in the dark here without turning on the light. If it doesn't work, we may have to turn on the light here so that I can actually see what I'm doing. All right, there we go. So now the intervalometer is connected. We can turn on the camera here, And you can see up over here in the corner, we have the Orion constellation, which is our target for tonight. We'll try to compose it with the foreground of the fence in my backyard, and hopefully we'll get some good results. So we want to capture Orion quickly here before it heads off of the horizon. So we have only a couple minutes left to do that. So we'll point my camera up above the horizon here, maybe including a little bit of the horizon line, just so that we can see where the fence was positioned and make an approximate composition with the foreground. All right, I think pretty happy with that. So this is going to be a really quick capture. We're not going to do too many exposures here. Maybe we'll do like 5 or 10 exposures. And let's see here. That looks good. We're going to make sure the settings are correct, so I make sure my camera is in bulb mode. I've been shooting most of my track skies at f3.2, ISO 1600, and I've been doing 1-minute exposures. So I'll set up my intervalometer. So I'm not going to show the intervalometer, so setup for that might vary based on your camera setup and your intervalometer that you've purchased. Let's see here. I just bought a standard one off of probably Amazon for like 15 bucks. It works great. The battery life is forever. I can forget to turn it off in my camera bag and come back a few weeks later and my intervalometer still works. So very happy with just the very cheap intervalometers that you can find. The wired ones, I'm not a big fan of wireless things. They have too many points of failure. So now I have my setup all ready here. I think the camera's right, intervalometer is ready, but I just realized I did not start my star tracker. So to come over here, make sure my star tracker is tracking in star mode, and then we will take an exposure here. So we'll wait for a minute. I think we'll shoot for a minute and see. Maybe there will be too much exposure because I'm near to a city, but we'll find out, because I don't think I've ever shot a 1-minute exposure from my backyard. So if you watched my last video, I do have a hand warmer on me here. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, so my hands are not getting cold. I can hold on to this thing. And also I have a flashlight in case I need it. So yeah, I try to follow my own advice. So if you watch my previous video on the topic of what you should bring with you on your Astro shoot. Alright, so it captured 1 exposure. Unfortunately, I'm not going to show you guys the exact results right now, but I'm going to look at the result myself. I'm going to check a few different things. I want to see how the sky looks. I want to make sure the stars are in focus. And that's actually not looking too bad. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the level of detail I can get out in where's it, Bortle 1 skies, but this is between probably Bortle 3 and Bortle 4 skies, if that means anything to you. It's the brightness of the sky. There's a dome off that direction, and that's probably a Bortle 4 bordering Bortle 5 zone. But yeah, so this frame looks okay. So I think what we'll do here is we will let this shoot for, let's do 4 minutes here, and I may speed up this section and come back when the shots are captured, and then we can talk about capturing the foreground. Alright, so I captured like 8 more exposures on the 1 minute sky. So they're pretty bright. I think we'll see how it goes. There might be a bright halo in the bottom corner, but we'll see how the edit is. I think they're good enough, and it'll be a nice test to see what I can capture from the backyard. So now we want to capture the foreground. So in order to capture the foreground, we need to make sure that the star tracker is turned off here. So we'll turn that off, and then we are just going to do the simplest thing possible here and compose the foreground directly where you see it here. We want to make sure things are level, and we definitely don't want to be shooting 1 minute exposure for this. We'll probably just shoot, and we might not even shoot using the intervalometer. Let's see here. If we shoot. So I have lights coming from the inside of my house, which are going to make this an interesting shot, but I think it'll still work. So we want to make sure about, I would say at least half of the frame here is aligned with the foreground here. So let's do a quick exposure. Let's do a 4-second exposure to start things out. I'm going to use the self timer so I can push the shutter and then get my hand away so there's no motion. We'll see what this looks like. That looks reasonably exposed. And I think I'm going to try to go stand in the photo so that makes it more interesting. So let's try. We'll set the self timer to 10 seconds so I have a sec to get where I want to be. Alright, we'll check to see if I was standing still. Alright, good enough. Some really nice shadows coming from the light. And I think we're going to call that a good enough foreground. Check one more time, make sure things are in reasonably good focus. Yeah, it looks good. Alright, cool. So yeah, thanks for joining the masterclass. I think we'll probably run a quick shot of the actual final result here. And be sure to join next time. Like either there will be live video, maybe on YouTube. I'm trying to figure out the best way to engage people. If you have ideas, like leave those in the comments. If I should do a live on Instagram or YouTube or somewhere else, just let me know what you think in the comments below, and hope you enjoyed spending some time under the skies with me tonight.